Daniel had been waiting outside the restaurant for 45 minutes. His first date with Sarah was a disaster before it even started. He was about to give up, about to walk away, about to delete her number and forget the whole thing. But then he saw something running toward him down the sidewalk, something small, something fast, something dressed entirely in black. It was a 7-year-old boy in a full ninja costume, and what this child was about to say would completely change Daniel's life forever. This little ninja was carrying a message that would lead to the most beautiful love story you've ever heard. But first, he had to complete his mission. Daniel Martinez stood nervously outside the small Italian restaurant on 5th Avenue, checking his phone for the 7th time in 10 minutes. 7:45. She was now 45 minutes late. The autumn evening had turned chilly, and he pulled his jacket tighter around himself, watching couples walk past him into the warm glow of the restaurant. This was supposed to be special. After 3 months of talking online, exchanging messages that grew longer and more personal with each passing day, he was finally meeting Sarah Chen in person. They had connected over a shared love of old movies and terrible puns, their conversations flowing so naturally that sometimes he would look up and realize hours had passed. But now, standing alone on the sidewalk, Daniel felt the familiar weight of doubt settling over him. Maybe she had changed her mind. Maybe she had seen his profile picture and decided he wasn't what she expected. Maybe this whole thing had been a mistake from the beginning. He was about to send one more text, asking if everything was okay, when something caught his eye. A small figure was running down the sidewalk toward him, weaving between pedestrians with surprising agility. As the figure got closer, Daniel's eyes widened in disbelief. It was a child, no more than 7 or 8 years old, dressed head to toe in a black ninja costume, complete with a mask covering most of his face. The boy carried a small plastic sword that bounced against his leg as he ran, and his sneakers lit up with red LED lights with each step. The ninja boy stopped directly in front of Daniel, slightly out of breath, and bowed deeply with exaggerated formality. "Are you Daniel Martinez?" The boy asked, his voice muffled slightly by the mask. Yes," Daniel replied, completely confused. "Who are you?" The boy straightened up and placed his hands on his hips in a superhero pose. "I am Ninja Master Tyler, and I have been sent on a very important mission. My mom apologizes for being late. She's coming, but there was an emergency, and she asked me to tell you, please don't leave." Daniel blinked several times, trying to process what was happening. "Your mom? You mean Sarah?" "Yes, Sarah Chen, the lady with the really nice smile who makes the best pancakes in the entire world, and sometimes lets me stay up late on Fridays to watch movies." Tyler nodded enthusiastically, making his ninja mask slip slightly. He adjusted it quickly. "She said to tell you she's really sorry, and that she'll explain everything when she gets here. She also said to tell you that she's been looking forward to this all week, and please give her 10 more minutes. The sincerity in the child's voice melted Daniel's anxiety. He couldn't help but smile. "Okay, Ninja Master Tyler, I'll wait. But can I ask what the emergency was?" Tyler's expression turned serious, or as serious as a 7-year-old in a ninja costume could look. "It's classified information, but—" He leaned closer and whispered conspiratorially, "Between you and me, Mrs. Patterson next door fell down, and Mom had to help her. Mrs. Patterson is really old, like maybe 100, and she lives alone, and Mom always checks on her." Daniel's heart softened even more. "That's very kind of your mom." "She's the best," Tyler said matter-of-factly. Then his eyes lit up behind the mask. "Hey, do you want to see my ninja moves while we wait? I've been practicing." Before Daniel could respond, Tyler launched into a series of elaborate karate chops and kicks, complete with sound effects. Hi-ya! Wacha! Take that, evil villain! Several pedestrians stopped to watch, smiling at the enthusiastic display. Daniel found himself laughing genuinely for the first time all evening. Tyler's energy was infectious, and his complete commitment to the ninja character was oddly endearing. "That's very impressive," Daniel said when Tyler finally paused for breath. "How long have you been training to be a ninja?" "Since I was 5, Tyler said proudly. "That's like 2 whole years. Mom got me this costume for Halloween last year, but I liked it so much that I wear it all the time. She says I have to take it off for school and church, but other than that, I'm pretty much always ready for ninja missions." "And does your mom send you on missions often?" Tyler thought about this seriously. "Well, mostly I give myself missions. Like yesterday, my mission was to protect the living room from the invasion of dust bunnies. I was very successful, but this is my first real mission where someone actually asked me to do something important. Mom was really worried because she couldn't get her phone to work to call you, and she knew you'd be waiting, so she asked if I could run ahead and tell you. I said yes, because ninjas are very fast, and also because Mom looked really worried, and I don't like when she looks worried." Daniel felt a lump forming in his throat. He was learning more about Sarah in these few minutes with her son than he had in 3 months of messages. The picture Tyler was painting was of someone caring, someone who helped elderly neighbors in emergencies, someone who raised a thoughtful, enthusiastic child. "You're a good kid, Tyler," Daniel said sincerely. "Thanks. Mom says that sometimes too, except when I accidentally break stuff or when I try to climb things I'm not supposed to climb. Are you going to be my mum's boyfriend?" The direct question caught Daniel completely off guard. We're just meeting for the first time tonight. This is our first date." "Oh," Tyler nodded wisely. "Mom's been really nervous about tonight. She changed her clothes like 5 times, and she kept asking me if her hair looked okay. I told her it looked the same as always, but she said that wasn't helpful." He paused, studying Daniel carefully. "You seem nice, and you didn't leave when she was late. That's a good sign. Mom's last boyfriend left when she was late once, and it made her really sad." Daniel felt a surge of anger at this unknown person who had hurt Sarah, followed immediately by a determination to be better. "I would never do that," he said firmly. "Good," Tyler said, satisfied. Then he brightened. "Do you like Star Wars? Because Mom loves Star Wars, and if you don't like Star Wars, it probably won't work out. That's what she says anyway." "I love Star Wars," Daniel assured him. "Which one is your favorite? The Empire Strikes Back?" Tyler's eyes widened with approval. "That's Mom's favorite too. This is going really well." Just then Daniel heard rapid footsteps, and a woman's voice called out, "Tyler! Tyler! I'm so sorry, Daniel turned and saw her for the first time in person. Sarah Chen was hurrying toward them, slightly out of breath, her long dark hair pulled back in a messy ponytail, wearing jeans and a navy blue sweater, instead of the dress he imagined she might have changed into 5 times. She looked flustered, worried, and absolutely beautiful. "Daniel, I'm so sorry," she said, reaching them and immediately checking her son. "Tyler, you didn't bother him, did you?" "I completed my mission," Tyler announced proudly. "I told him you were coming and that there was an emergency and that he should please wait. And I showed him my ninja moves, and I asked him about Star Wars. He likes Empire Strikes Back." Sarah's eyes met Daniel's, and he saw embarrassment, hope, and exhaustion all mixed together in her expression. "I'm so sorry. Mrs. Patterson, my neighbor, she's 87 and lives alone, and she fell in her kitchen. I was literally walking out the door to meet you when I heard her calling for help. I couldn't just leave her. I called 911, stayed with her until the paramedics came, made sure she was okay. She's going to be fine, just bruised, but I couldn't get my phone to work to call you. And I knew you'd be waiting, and I felt terrible. So I sent Tyler ahead to explain because he's fast and— Sarah, Daniel interrupted gently. It's okay. Really. Tyler explained everything. Well, most things. He said some details were classified. Sarah looked at her son, who gave her a thumbs up. Ninja code, Mom. Some secrets must be protected. Despite her obvious stress, Sarah laughed, and Daniel heard in that laugh all the warmth and humor that had come through in their messages. Of course, how could I forget the ninja code? She turned back to Daniel, her expression turning serious. I really am sorry. I wanted tonight to be perfect. I was so nervous and excited, and then everything went wrong. And now here I am, 45 minutes late, in the clothes I was cleaning my apartment in, with my son dressed as a ninja, and you probably think I'm a complete disaster. Daniel smiled, and he meant it with his whole heart. Actually, I think you're exactly who I hoped you'd be. Someone who helps people who need help, even when it's inconvenient. Someone who raised an amazing kid who runs through the city to deliver messages because he doesn't want his mom to be sad. Someone who changes clothes 5 times because she's nervous about meeting someone she likes. Sarah's mouth fell open slightly. Tyler, you told him that? Ninjas are very observant, Tyler said unapologetically. We notice things. Daniel laughed. If you're okay with it, maybe we could reschedule dinner for another night, when you've had time to make sure your neighbor is settled and Tyler here gets home to bed. But maybe Tyler and I could walk you both back to your apartment, make sure you get home safely. Sarah looked like she might cry. You'd still want to reschedule? After all this? Sarah, this has been the most memorable first date I've ever had, and we haven't even made it inside the restaurant yet. Yes, I definitely want to reschedule. Tyler pumped his fist in the air. Mission success. The ninja has brought 2 people together. This is the best mission ever. As they started walking back towards Sarah's apartment, Tyler between them, the little ninja chattered away about everything from his favorite pizza toppings to his theory about how ninjas could definitely beat pirates in a fight. Sarah and Daniel exchanged glances over his head, sharing smiles that promised many more conversations to come. So, Daniel said as they walked, does Tyler always dress as a ninja for important missions? Always, Sarah confirmed. Last week, his important mission was going to the grocery store. He told the cashier he was protecting me from the evil vegetables. She was very understanding. The broccoli was particularly threatening, Tyler added seriously. When they reached Sarah's building, Tyler hugged his mother and then, to Daniel's surprise, hugged him too. You're nice, Tyler pronounced. You can definitely come to dinner next time. Maybe we can watch Star Wars after. Tyler, that's not— Sarah started, but Daniel interrupted. I would love that, if your mum says it's okay. Sarah looked between them, and Daniel saw something shift in her expression. A wall coming down, maybe. A decision being made to trust. Okay, she said softly. How about Saturday? Dinner at my place. Fair warning, it'll be much less fancy than the restaurant, and there will definitely be a ninja present. Sounds perfect, Daniel said. As they said goodnight and Sarah and Tyler headed into their building, Daniel walked back toward the restaurant, planning to grab takeout for himself. His phone buzzed with a text from Sarah. Thank you for being so understanding. I was terrified you'd be angry. Tyler thinks you're great, by the way. He's a pretty good judge of character. Daniel typed back, your son is amazing, and so are you. Saturday can't come soon enough. P.S. Tell Ninja Master Tyler his mission was a complete success. 3 years later, Daniel would tell the story of their first date at their wedding reception, with Tyler serving as ring bearer, naturally wearing a tuxedo over his ninja costume because, as he had insisted, a ninja must always be prepared for anything. The guests would laugh and cry, and Sarah would lean against Daniel's shoulder, whispering, Best disaster of a first date ever. And Daniel would think about how a 7-year-old ninja had taught him something important that autumn evening, that the best moments in life are rarely the perfect ones we plan for. They're the messy, unexpected, real ones where people show you who they truly are, where a single mother stops everything to help an elderly neighbor, where a child runs through city streets to protect his mother's happiness, where patience and kindness open doors to something beautiful. The following Saturday, Daniel showed up at Sarah's apartment with flowers for her and a plastic ninja sword for Tyler. They ordered pizza, watched The Empire Strikes Back, and Tyler fell asleep on the couch between them halfway through, his ninja mask askew, his small hand holding Daniel's. Sarah looked at Daniel over her sleeping son, and he saw in her eyes all the possibility of a future neither of them had dared to hope for just days before. "Thank you," she whispered, "for waiting, for staying, for seeing us." "Thank you," Daniel whispered back, "for sending a ninja. Best message delivery I've ever received." And in that moment, in a small apartment with Star Wars playing softly on the television and a sleeping child ninja between them, Daniel knew he was exactly where he was meant to be. All because he had chosen to wait, and a boy dressed as a ninja had run through the streets with a message of hope. Sometimes the best love stories don't start with perfection. They start with a mess, an apology, and someone brave enough to stay. They start with a 7-year-old ninja who believes in missions and happy endings, who runs through the city to save his mother's first date, who knows that the greatest superpower isn't invisibility or super strength. It's caring enough to show up, even when it's hard, even when it's scary, even when you're dressed as a ninja and the mission seems impossible. Tyler had been right that evening. It was the best mission ever. And it was only the beginning. 3 years after that chaotic first date, Daniel and Sarah stood at the altar, exchanging vows in front of their friends and family. And there, standing between them as ring-bearer, was Tyler, now 10 years old, wearing a tuxedo over his beloved ninja costume, because as he had told everyone who would listen, a ninja must always be prepared for anything. During the reception, Daniel gave a speech that left everyone in tears. He said, 3 years ago, I almost gave up. I almost walked away from the best thing that ever happened to me because I was tired of waiting. But then a 7-year-old ninja ran down the street to tell me that someone worth having is always worth waiting for." Tyler stood up and yelled, "Mission accomplished!" And the entire room erupted in applause and laughter. Sarah later told friends that she knew Daniel was the one, the moment he didn't run away when her life showed up messy, chaotic, and complicated. Because real love doesn't need perfection. Real love shows up. Real love waits. Real love sees a single mother 45 minutes late with a kid in a ninja costume and says, "This is exactly what I've been looking for." Today, Daniel, Sarah, and Tyler are a family. And Tyler still wears his ninja costume for every important occasion, because according to him, you never know when someone might need a hero. This story reminds us that the best moments in life are rarely the perfect, Instagram-worthy ones we plan. They're the messy, unexpected, real ones where people show you who they truly are, where kindness matters more than punctuality, where a child's love for his mother inspires a stranger to be patient, where waiting just a little longer changes everything. So the next time you're about to give up on something or someone, remember the ninja who ran through the streets with a message of hope. Remember that sometimes the greatest love stories begin with the worst first dates. And remember that heroes come in all sizes, sometimes dressed in black costumes with light-up sneakers. Daniel waited 45 minutes that changed his entire life. What if he hadn't? What if he'd left? We all have moments where we choose to stay or to walk away. This story proves that patience, kindness, and an open heart can transform everything. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Tell us in the comments, Have you ever had a disastrous first date that turned into something beautiful? We'd love to hear your story. Subscribe for more real-life stories that prove love, hope, and 7-year-old ninjas can change the world. Because sometimes the best message you'll ever receive comes from the most unexpected messenger. And remember, always wait for the ninja. Always.